Now Hector was returning from the battlefield. He came up to the sky and gates by the oak tree. And all the women of Troy were running to him, holding on to his garments, calling out to him, "Hector, Hector, have you seen my neighbor? What about my brother? Did you see my husband? Do they still live? How have they fared on the battlefield?" But he pushed them away, saying, Go pray to Athene. I cannot tell you. Then his mother came to him with a cup of wine, saying, my dear son, come, step into the gates of Troy. Rest, drink some wine, for it is upon your shoulders that all the bitter feuding of this war you must carry yourself alone. Come and rest. And she wiped his brow and offered him wine, but he refused, saying, Anyway, I have not washed the blood from the field of battle. How can I possibly take up wine like this, O mother? I cannot drink wine at this moment, thinking of my brave companions losing their lives to the slaughtering Greeks. Then he made his way to the house of Alexandrios, Paris, to try and urge him to battle. He found him busy with his armor and Helen lounging about. He spoke to Paris, saying, You cold-hearted man, our companions are dying out there. Come, put on your armor, assist me, bring yourself into battle. Oh, Hector, I didn't mean to seem so cold-hearted for battle. It's just that I wanted to come back and devote myself, I must admit, to the sorrows. But now even my wife is urging me forth. I will come soon. And Helen comes to Hector and says, Sit, my brother-in-law. I know I am an evil, intriguing bitch of a woman, as I must appear to you sometimes. But sit, for I love thee. Hector spoke to her, saying, Helen, do not persuade me. Though you'll express your love for me, I will not sit down with you. I must go to my own house and see my beloved Andromache, my wife, and my little child. He is very little. And he walked into the streets once more, making his way to his own house. When he arrived, he could not find Andromache. The housekeeper spoke to him, saying, O great lord, the news went out that you were dying on the field of battle, or badly wounded. She went off with the nurse, and she is running through the street like a mad woman, searching for you, running to the top tower, maybe. Hector dashed out into the streets, and there he met Andromache, the nurse trailing behind her with their child in her arms. And Andromache spoke to Hector, saying, Oh, dear husband, your strength will be the death of you. Do not make your child an orphan, or me a widow. Come inside to the city. Turn your back on the war for a little while. You know, my father was killed by the brilliant Achilles when he stormed the citadel. But Achilles loved my father and gave him honor. He did not even strip his armor from him, but my father was killed by him. And then my 7 brothers, looking after the sheep on the hills, the swift-footed Achilles came upon them and slaughtered them also. And my mother, some say she was killed by the showers of Artemis when Achilles ransomed her after that. Perhaps she died of a broken heart. But Hector, you are my father. You are my mother. You are my brothers. And you are my young husband. And the tears fell from her eyes like rain from the skies. I cannot, Andromache, rest too long, spoke Hector, for my companions lie dying on the field of battle. And I know that very soon Ilium will fall. These great towers will tumble. Troy will be destroyed. And I know, too, that you may find yourself in a foreign country, drawing water from another well for another man. And they will say, oh yes, there goes Andromache. She was the wife of Hector when we fought the war around the walls of Troy in those days. But Andromache, spoke Hector, before this happens, I would rather that mountains of earth fall upon me before I see you dragged into slavery, hearing your cries of lamentation. Then he turned to his child, in the arms of the nurse, only a little baby. But the child, seeing his father dressed in his horsehair plume and looking fierce and dangerous, burst into tears. But Hector laughed and took the helmet off and set it aside, and took up his child, saying, oh, come on, it's only Daddy. He said, tossing his child in the air as a man will, one day, if the gods permit, they will say about you, my son, he was even stronger than his father. He gave his child back to the arms of Andromache, his wife. And she wept, and they wept together. He spoke to her, saying, Andromache, the fates do not will it that I die just yet. Go back to the house with the child, and I very soon must return to my companions on the field of battle. Do not fear too much for me. And so Andromache, she went back to the house, but turning back, looked to Hector as he stood there, and her live tears falling hotly from her cheek.